Crimi, we're at the Cancer Support Community, Massachusetts South Shore, where you have a display of your art.
Yes, I have 65 paintings. We're going to have an open house in a couple of weeks.
Great. What date is that?
We haven't set the date yet. We have to wait till everything's set. We have to make the cards up and things.
So it'll be mid-January.
Well, maybe at the beginning of February.
Very nice. Let's go in.
It'll be up for 2 weeks.
All right,
2
let's
months,
go
I'm
in.
sorry. Hello, this is Francine. She's the director of the Cancer Support Community in Norwell. And we're here doing an art show for the group so that we can raise some money and get some support for all of these people that come to this support group. They do a fantastic job. They got a beautiful facility and it's beautifully decorated. I've met some of the people and I'm really impressed with what they do. Tim is a fantastic person, and this young lady back here, Sarah is really quite helpful.
Let's see a little. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
You're busy.
She's a
You're too
working
busy to
person.
do this. Well, Francine, it's very nice to meet you.
Thank you. We're the Cancer Support Community, Massachusetts South Shore, and we give free support groups, education, and special topics on nutrition, anything that relates to cancer. And this is free of charge, no cost to anyone that comes here for the services. We receive referrals from all over, cancer centers, hospitals, your neighbors, your family, anyone who is living with cancer is welcome to come and partake of our services here.
So your address is 120 Longwater Drive?
Yes.
Where WareGuard used to be?
Yeah, across the street from WareGuard.
Across
so
the
we're right on the
street.
corner of Longwater Drive, yes. It's a big yellow brick building. We have our own entrance. It's in the back, which makes it a little more private for people coming in for the services and programs.
So what's the number someone would call if they got lost or needed better directions?
781-610-1490 is our main number.
So Crimi, show us some of your artwork here at the Cancer Support Community Center.
All right, we have 65 paintings. This is one of my feature pieces. This Tulips and Oranges is the title. It's on my brochure that I hand out to galleries and I send to clients that have bought my work. And a feature piece that I really love it. I don't even think it's for sale. Yeah, price on request. Like my only thing that I do for my imagination, from my spirit, is the birch trees.
Oh, let's go look at those. They're hanging up here in the hallway.
There's a few in the hallway and there's a whole room.
Well, let's go see it.
We'll go take a look.
Yeah.
These are grouped. I like putting little groups of these paintings together, and they sort of have a nice flow. I like the separation between each painting and the area. Tim did a nice job hanging these. He hung these ones. I hung the ones that are on top. He's more precise at hanging paintings than I am. I just sort of feel it and stick it up. But Tim measures and sorts them and separates them.
So he's building a forest out of birch trees with his tape measure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did this particular room. I'll take you into. This is one of the conference rooms where they sit and discuss all of the things that are going on.
All right,
in their
let's go
life.
into that room then.
Okay, we're right in here. And it's kind of bright and cheery in here. I mean,
Oh, it's very bright and cheery.
the paintings sort of have a theme with the way he's hung them, with the light, sunlight, and the color of the leaves, and I think that they have a nice rhythm, and they look like they're dancing on us. And some of these trees, with the darker backgrounds, are probably in early stages of the morning or late afternoon. This is a little tilted. Move a little. And so as they go around the room, they have that nice, quiet, tranquil feeling. The black and white ones are my favorite, believe it or not. I'm a printmaker and I've always done prints. And so there's a couple behind you that when you get to the whole circle of the room, you'll see them.
Well, let's circle the room now then. We'll circle.
Here we go.
We can go into this
This was
forest.
the very first one I did out of all of the birch trees. And you can see why I got excited. It was kind of, this happens to be on paper, that's why it's on the glass. It's a watercolor board on paper. But there's a few of them in here. The one on the corner happens to be on paper too. And then the canvases got into the act and I started doing these series. I probably wound up doing about 75 to 100 birch tree paintings I've sold about 15 to 20 of them, all different sizes. People really love birch trees. They have a quality that draws you to them. Now this room has, they do their exercising in here, the Tai Chi, and it has all ocean scenes from all different places. Most of them are Maine, but this one happens to be Hingham. This is the World's End in Hingham. This happens to be Maine. That happens to be the Spit, Situate, the hill on the little sand lot.
Now, we
kind
saw
of
these
spot.
paintings hanging up in your gallery.
Oh yeah, these are all of these paintings that are in this building for this show are from the studio. I have 65 of these paintings from the studio that I brought over, and I try to do themes. I try to bring over things that would make people feel at ease, like these rock paintings with the water. There's something about rocks and water that I find very soothing, very peaceful. And the tide coming in that one from Popham Beach, the blues, very active water. A friend of mine took that photograph, Dave Spencer, fabulous photograph, fantastic photographer. And a lot of photographs, every one of the photographs, except for this one here with the big blue, that happens to be Orleans, a beach down in Orleans. It was a photographer from Pembroke that was on the cover of the Cape Cod Life. He lives in Pembroke. And I called him up and I asked him if I could paint it. And he said, absolutely. And I forget his name, to tell you the truth. I'm terrible on names. But I love the photograph. And the painting's kind of beautiful. It's serene. It had a niceness. And it was, to me, it had a very contemporary feeling. It sort of could have been painted as an abstract. Most people would think it was an abstract. But
Let's go
a
over
lot
here and
that what we do.
see what you have next to it.
The coast, this is the coast of where Owlhead, Maine. Where the lighthouse is up over here. And I just fell in love with this particular spot. It was a really quiet morning. We usually get out real early in the morning to photograph. And so a lot of them have the misty kind of feeling. Or we get out late at night. David's fanatical about a certain time of day for photographing. And so that, I've picked up on some of that throughout the years because we've been going up to Maine for years and years. I have a classmate from high school and junior high that has a house in Spruce Head, Maine, my friend Barbara Miller. And she lets me use it for a week or two every year. And it's like a gift. Oh my God. So I go around in the different areas of Maine and I take photographs and paint from the photographs, as I do in my show, Expression and Painting by Paul Crimi. The camera person, Dr. Jones, and do a great job.
Yep, that's me. And you're the painter, Mr. Crimi. That's you and me. Yeah. All right, let's look at these other ones.
So we get around and there's a man on the rocks up here. I get the title of that.
There he
Man
is,
on the
yeah.
rocks. He's standing there looking out. And when I took that photograph, I said, oh, beautiful. I had the subject matter, the rocks, and the man. Yeah, and I always got to call him the person on the rocks, but it sounds better when the title is The Man on the Rocks. And this one here is a night photograph, and this one's early evening photograph. I love the night photograph. It has very, very tranquil, subdued feeling. It's one of my favorite paintings.
This one here,
This one
the
here,
night.
Yeah, the night painting. And then the early evening one beside it. I put them side by side. The three of these paintings are in the same area, Birch Beach in Maine, which is near Spruce Head, which is near Rockland, Maine. I'll give you some references. And the cloud paintings, I do a whole series of these cloud paintings, and it's just from my imagination. They're not from any specific area. Pennaquit, the one beside it, is very famous. They have a very famous lighthouse in Pennaquit. And a lot of people painted, but I painted this section of it from the lighthouse area looking down along the coast. And it has all these beautiful rocks and trees and flowers. I have a friend that lives in the farthest part of California along the coast, San Rafael, way up, but maybe even farther. I'm not quite sure what it is. But I was visiting him, and we took the drive from the farthest point in California to visit my son in Los Angeles. We rented a van, and we're driving along the route along the coast. And I see this right in San Jose area, on the highway. And I make him pull over, and I jump out and I take a photograph of this tree. And I paint it, and I put it on photo transfer on wood. And I've sold about 10 or 11 copies of it. And I call it the anxiety tree. You hang your anxiety on the tree. And it has that kind of feeling.
Well, where are the leaves?
That's what I liked about it. It didn't have any leaves. It was a naked tree in the middle of this desolate spot on a way from Northern California to Southern California. And I said, what a beautiful photograph this is. And I hadn't even seen it produced or printed out. I just felt that it would make a great painting.
Well, it is a great painting. It caught my eye right away.
Yeah, a lot of people really fall in love with it. They fell in love with the print when I printed it on the wood, too. I sold quite a few copies of it. And my granddaughter loves this particular painting.
Yeah, I love the contrast between the green and the black. I mean,
Yeah.
everything has color, and there's the black tree, the center of the painting.
I know, and it's a picture of hope for me. I mean, some people would say it was sad, but I don't think it's sad. I think that it's a picture of, I've lived my life, and all of my life has passed, but I'm still here, and I'm still present.
Well,
That's the
it
kind of
reaches
feeling.
out. It keeps reaching. It
Yeah.
reaches in all directions.
I don't know if they do have a change of seasons. I asked my friend, and he wasn't sure, but they had no leaves on this particular tree, and it really excited me. So like I said, I took a photograph of it and I painted it.
Well, there it is,
And there it is.
hanging here in
Yeah.
Norwell.
At the Cancer Support Community in Norwell, Mass. On 120
120 Longwater
Drive.
Drive, some across from Weirgard.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
okay, we got
You'll
it.
be able to find it. This particular painting I took from a photograph I saw in a magazine, and this happens to be England. England has this beautiful fields of purple flowers, and I fell in love with it, and I said, oh my God, I gotta paint it. So I did about maybe 15 to 20 paintings of this particular subject, and I did it in all different sizes and all different ways.
No, this is a horizontal rectangle.
Yeah, it's almost like a panoramic painting.
It is.
Yeah, it is panoramic. So I fall in love with that too. That happened. These are two separate paintings that are joined together. You can separate them or you can put them together, and they have that same feeling. That's from that same photograph.
Well, they need to go together.
Yeah, they're like a pair, husband and wife kind of thing. This happens to be the Eggertown Marsh. My daughter has a friend that had a house down there, and she rents it out, and so I bartered with her. For about 10 or 15 years, I leave a couple of paintings, smaller paintings, in the house, and I paint the area. And this happened to be the end of the road, and over the marsh is the Eggertown coast, and it's beautiful. But I just did a little painting of this particular area with the flowers. I added the flowers. It didn't have as many flowers there. I thought the flowers gave it a little more happiness, a little more joy.
This doesn't look like a little painting. This looks like a pretty big one.
Yeah.
This took a lot of time. This isn't a little painting.
Yeah, it's not that little. It's
No,
like
not at
30
all.
by 36, so it's not too little.
All right, let's go into this house here.
This is the Olson House. It's part of the Farnsworth Museum, and that's the Andrew Wyeth made it famous by painting what's that girl's name? The laying on the lawn. I forget. Oh, Hogarth's World? Yeah, she's laying on the lawn in the front of the house. So this happens to be the interior of the house. The rocking chair belonged to the mother, and I went inside and took some photographs, and I've done a series of paintings. I've done 9 or 10 paintings.
Where is the Farnsworth Museum?
In Rockland, Maine. And this is a different place. This is a house that's in the country, a little further away from Rockland, but it's part of the Rockland Museum because they bought it so that they could show Andrew Wyeth's paintings in there.
Well, I can imagine someone sitting in that chair. I see the indentation from where they were sitting.
It's got a very comfortable feeling.
Yes.
I mean, I wanted to have that. I like the ceiling and the floor and the window.
Yeah.
It's not a very big house. Those old houses are small rooms, and they kept them warm by keeping them tinier. Today, I don't know if these big people could fit into these size rooms.
Well, you might break the chair, but
Yeah. This happens to be the only Italy painting I brought in. I brought this one in. This one's a part of Italy, maybe Tuscany. I went to Italy in '95 and I took 2,500 pictures, and I painted about.
Wait a minute, 2,500 photographs.
Yes, I had 100 rolls of film, and that's what I took. And I came back and I had them all printed. Printing them was a riot because I went into Shaw's and they had a coupon and they said you could get as many as you wanted and free film and doubles. So I wound up getting doubles. So I wound up getting 5,000 pictures, and I had to sort them out. And I invited everybody that went on the trip, and then I gave them albums of them walking and kissing and holding hands in Italy, and they really loved it. This is a picture that I painted this about 10 or 11 times. The original one I have in my son's house, and it won a major award in New York at the Audubon Society in '92. It won the Winsor Newton Award. It was the first international show that I went and participated in, and I got a prize. And so I've liked this particular design. This is a smaller version of the one my son has. Sometimes I paint it just for my own sake. Like I gave it to my son when he built his house, and I wanted a copy for myself. This is a small one.
So that's flowers in front of a mirror.
Yeah, it's called Purple Flowers, and
Pops right out.
Yeah, it does. Nice reflection.
Pops right out.
And this one here is bottles in my studio. I have a bunch of bottles in front of the windows in my studio.
There really are bottles there?
Oh, there are tons of bottles there. They're quite dusty because they've been there for years. And I painted this painting because I wanted to show vessels that were all vessels, the lights coming through and all the reflections. And they were all connected to each other, that kind of a thing. It's more of a kind of that spiritual thing than it is anything else.
Well, this painting's beautiful.
There's
the colors are beautiful.
Yeah, the pastels are really nice. And I brought in some flower paintings for this particular room. I wanted a room that had a lot of flowers. And Tim, the director here, loved the purple gardens and the flowers. And of course, one from Provence with lavender garden or lavender farm. And this happens to be a vase of flowers that I love. I love the activity and dimension the flowers have and the space that they hold when they're in the vase. So this particular painting is kind of in your face, but it's nice, soft. And this is Provence. It's that place in France where they have all of those lavender farms. Gorgeous. It almost feels like a Van Gogh. I mean, I love Van Gogh's work anyways, but...
so this is a flower farm?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And then they have these rows of lavender flowers.
Were you there?
No, it was a photograph that I picked up.
I'm wondering how it smells.
Oh, it must smell like heaven. It must be very soothing. I mean, lavender, they say, puts you to sleep. It's a tranquil feeling to have lavender around.
Can you imagine? Instead of corn here, they have lavender there. All right, let's see.
Quite happy. All right, we got a group of paintings on this particular wall. And this paintings come out of Texas. They have these purple flowers in Texas. These particular paintings come out of Texas. There's areas where they have these purple flowers. I forget the name of them. I'm trying to think. But anyways, I fell in love with the photographs that I found on the internet, and I printed them and painted this particular series. A couple of them. And they have a nice quiet feeling. They come at you. They have a lot of built up material on them, a lot of paint. It kind of works. This is a garden I saw in Norwell, in fact. It's on Pleasant Street. This man has this little house with this magnificent garden, and I've painted it quite a few times. And I photographed it. I go over there every year and lets me walk around and I photographed it. I love the hollyhocks. And they weren't painted as a set, but when I put them together, I loved the way they felt. So we sort of stuck them side by side like this, and it really has a nice rhythm. They almost look like the flowers are dancing.
Now, are they going to be sold separately or as a
pair?
Yes,
separately, yeah. Or they could be sold as the set. You know, it all depends on the person. I would sell them separately or sell them together.
Well, I don't think they want to be split up. They're the only two that are side by side. They don't want to be split up.
I have But, you know, that's what happens with life. Nobody wants to be separated. Everybody wants to be joined together in some way. And that's what this painting's all about. It's a very happy garden.
I'm getting happy just looking at it.
That's a good thing. That's what this room is all about. Oh, this particular painting here, this is right down the street from Port Clyde in Maine, in this beautiful little lake in Lupin. And I've painted this about 5 or 6 times. My son has one of these paintings in his bedroom, and I love the quiet softness of the whole entire painting. The reflection of the trees and the flowers in the foreground. There's a lot of space in this painting, but it's very tranquil. And I've got one painting from a place in High Street in Pembroke. This particular painting is up the street from a friend of mine. It's right beside a Protestant church, or a congregational church on High Street. And there's this barn, and this person has these beautiful passion flowers on this Swedish fence. And I've painted this about 5 or 6 times too, different angles. And I've actually made this into a print. I love the way the flowers and the fence and the barn and the trees. It has a really quiet peacefulness about it. Every time I go over there and I see those flowers, I've never seen flowers bloom like that. And they only bloom for one day and then they're gone. And they're beautiful. I don't know the name of the flowers, but I think they're passion flower hibiscus or something like that. Maybe that's it. They're hibiscus. And they really make you feel like you want to go up and touch them. It's so beautiful. I try to capture that when I painted this. It reminds me of a very early American painting, somewhat, of the wife and the husband with the pitchfork. You know, that Gothic painting.
Right, that was a dentist
Yeah.
posing as a farmer. Yes, with
There's a connection there, see?
Right.
Well, and that's
American Gothic.
yeah, that's what this reminds me of, American Gothic, with the barn and the fence and the flowers.
The same time period.
Yeah, all we're missing is the farmer and the wife. Oh. That's it. So we've done the whole show. This is going to be open for 2 months. You can come in anytime. You can purchase any painting. And like I said, part of the proceeds are going to this cancer support community in Norwell on 120 Longwater Drive.
In Norwell.
In Norwell, across from where Weirgard used to be. It's right up the street from Zildjian. And it's in a beautiful building, in a beautiful setting. The paintings look really nice.
Well,
Tim
yeah, the
did a great
paintings
job.
look really nice. Oh, the way they hung them, they look
Yes.
nice. But there's something about having you describe your paintings. You're the painter, and you're explaining what you were thinking, where the scenes were. It's so much nicer than looking at them alone.
Well, they have, every painting an artist has a history with. Like, even when I do my TV show, I'll talk about it, why I photographed the photograph and why I wanted to paint it, and the texture and the atmosphere and the feeling. And then it makes sense. I have a priest friend of mine who talks about my religious artwork. He says, when I explain the religious painting, it has so much depth and meaning. He wants me to sit down and write a little blurb.
Oh, that's impossible.
Yeah, that's not my personality.
No.
But I think that people have to enter into a painting too. Everybody has their own feeling. Like you got excited over that one anxiety tree. And that has a way of bringing you into a moment. And the painting should do that. That's what makes painting what it is. And people say that painting has lost its vigor and its feeling, and people aren't interested in paintings anymore. Paintings do so much more for our home. They add the finishing touches. They add the personality.
They have the depth.
Yeah, they bring it to life. It's more than just a house. If you have a house without any artwork, then you have an empty building. It means it'll be a city hall or whatever, something commercial. Even commercial buildings need artwork. Artwork brings buildings to life, makes it personable. It makes people become part of the surrounding and the feeling that you're present there.
Well, thank you, Mr. Crimi. This is a lot of fun. Here, let's shake hands. We'll see. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for coming, and hope you will be able to come to our open house here featuring fall communities.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now.